Okay, let me just check my levels here. Oh, looks like we're good to go. Awesome. Well, it took some doing to get all set up. Okay, so today I'm going to be finishing up the colors on this this piece featuring the 13th Doctor, a Jawa, and some droids. And I forgot the background to a certain level here. Sort of blocked in what I have in mind. Just get finished here. Sorry, I'm getting all set up. Boy, technology. Hey, look at that. Chat shows up on my screen here. Interesting. I apologize for the delay here. I'm still trying to get used to technology here and figure out what's going on. Why can't I view chat? Okay, I'm going to move forward. apologize for the delay. I'm trying to figure out how to view chat on my iPad. It's just not working. I've had so many problems with technology and streaming. I don't know how everybody does it without going absolutely insane. But I'm just gonna move forward, I guess. This is so. Here's what I have in mind for the background here. I'm gonna do the big Jawa tread, and just want to get a look at. All right. So I'm going to finish up the sort of rough version of it. Hello? Hey, Chris. Sorry I didn't see your chat there. Okay. How's everyone doing tonight? If anybody has any questions about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, all that good stuff, please let me know. How do I balance resolution versus layers in Procreate? Can you be more specific? Hey, Wendy, how you doing? If what you mean by layers and resolution is, how do I like? Well, the short answer is, I just keep track of my layers, and if I run out of layers on an image that's resolution dependent, I adapt. This piece is actually the physical dimensions of it are 11 by 17 inches at 300 dpi, and so there are much few layers than I usually am allowed in a piece, just because of the large size. So it takes some doing. Usually layer management isn't such a big deal. Usually there's enough layers in the Procreate document to allow for whatever I need. But I mean, as with anything else, you just gotta. It's just one more thing you gotta track and work on. I gotta fix this when I flatten them, because that's not right. But I'll do that later. I think in some ways, actually, oops, I gotta fix that too. Working in Procreate and having it be, resolution dependent for layers has made me a little bit of a better artist, because I used to just rack up the layer count in Photoshop, but now I have to actually be mindful. So it forces me to flatten more than I normally would, and make those choices. Sometimes they're difficult, but it just means I have to commit. And that's not such a bad thing. Like right now, I'm probably gonna, well, let me just do one thing before I do that. but at a certain point here, I'm probably gonna flatten the layers I'm working on, and then just start painting over it. So, does that answer your question, Chris? Ah, great. Yeah, totally agree. It's always nice to see, how others do things. Um, you never know when you're going to be like, am I doing this right? Or is there a better way I can do it? But sorry to say that I haven't found a better way of it. You just got to manage, you just got to manage the layers as best you can. I usually don't have any problem with that, just dealing with like 2D images, but sometimes, but I have run into sort of issues with it in animation in Procreate more than anything else, to be honest. That's where I've gotten into trouble with layers. And again, you just have to sort of bite the bullet and merge things and flatten things. It's too bright. What do you mean you go to the other apps? You mean you do you work in other apps, or you transfer the file? I don't understand what you mean by go to the other apps. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't really do that. I pretty much stick to Procreate. It's where I like to work. I've got my base. So I basically have my palette. Now I can just start painting on. I like to get sort of flats done and work with layer modes to find my colors at first. Well, I'm not much for vectors. Whoops. If anything, I'm trying to go in a different direction. I'm trying to make things messier. My line work is so clean that sometimes it takes being a bit messy to give things life. I don't like things too perfect. The most I ever do with that is like, I'll show an example in Procreate. It's a new tool. Well, not a new tool, but let's see if I pick a bright color so people can see. Say you create a circle here and you do the sort of quick tool, the quick shape thing. Then you can go up here and click on Edit, and then it gives you some points to maneuver around, to edit, and that's the closest I really ever come to that kind of precision work. Can't see a list of people. Hey, is Robert in the chat room? Just want to see if my client is watching me work. Where was I? Sorry about that. I lost track of this stuff. I think I'm gonna drag this up. Oops. I'm gonna give this its own separate group. Oh, that's right. I forgot what your YouTube name was. Hello, Robert. And hello again to Wendy. Thank you for stopping by to say hello. Forget which. I think I was choosing from these. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm trying to remember which color palette I was choosing from prior to this. Yeah, he said he might share the link. Didn't you used to watch me when I was on Ustream? For some reason I remember you hanging out with me while I was on Ustream years ago, but I can't remember for sure. I think you were. That's what I thought. It's been a while though. Social media has changed everything, so I don't do Ustream anymore. Just happened. And for some reason, technology is not my friend right now, and I'm trying to figure out different how exactly I want to do my live streams from now on. Thought I had it all licked with Instagram, but Instagram is not friendly to the iPad having the camera pointed at it, because the brightness can change the way the screen looks on screen. You know, I can't do a lock to set the white point while it's on Instagram, unfortunately. So I figured out a different way to stream this tonight. Hopefully this works. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, it's working so far, but if it doesn't stay working, I might be in trouble. So that's why the last minute change back to YouTube, Robert, in case you were wondering. Having issues. Instagram works great for traditional stuff, inking with ink, but it was giving me problems. So oh really? Yeah, I don't know what that means, to be honest. I think the quality was okay from what I was seeing, and I was watching it on a laptop. I was watching the feed and the chat in a laptop, and it looked okay. But again, you're seeing the camera pointed down on an iPad, so I'm not sure how great it was. It was way too bright, because whenever I'd move my hand in front of the screen, the white point would change for the camera lens, and it would blow out the camera lens. So I don't know how other artists are dealing with that. It's kind of frustrating. What was I doing? Okay, back to this. I just realized I gotta fix something. Forgot about this. Hey, Wendy, did you hear I had brain surgery? What do you think? Do you think I needed it? Like, for a long time? Like, you know, back in high school, did you ever think, boy, that guy could use some brain surgery? I mean, I did, but I had to live with the brain, so. No, I just realized I forgot to add something, so I can do that like this. Each of these treads has a thing. Oops. It kind of looks like this. You know what? Whoops. Well, if you ever did, I wouldn't blame you. Apparently, you would have been medically correct. I did indeed need brain surgery. I think my new and improved brain is working pretty good. But, you know, I don't think I'm allowed to be the judge of that. You know, I think other people need to make that determination. I haven't asked my wife yet, but, yeah. What does she know, right? She knows a lot. That is true. Isn't that the point of high school, to give you a new brain, or at least to improve the one you have? Oh man, I wish I could have a Neuralink. That would make working in Procreate so much easier, right? What kind of upgrade did you get? Well, it turns out that I was, for the last 2 years, I was losing my eyesight slowly in my left eye. And then about December of last year, January this year, my right eye started getting bad and catching up. It caught up really quick to the left eye. By late February, early March, my eyesight in both eyes was enough to make me stop driving. I was pretty much legally blind. I'm going to keep working while I tell my tale of woe. And at that point, it was like, well, let's figure out what's going on here, because I don't want to go blind. So, my friends at the VA gave me an MRI, and within a couple days, came back and said, yep, you got a big tumor sitting on your optic nerve. So, a few weeks later, I had surgery to remove it. And that was fun. Oh, I mean, that wasn't fun. That's what I meant to say. Mainly because, I mean, it didn't hurt or anything, but it was frustrating because couldn't have any friends there, or my wife, because of the dreaded COVID. So I was all alone. But that's the story. But the good news is I got all my eyesight back, even though the doctor said don't expect that. I proved them wrong, which was awesome. one of my favorite things about the whole ordeal was going back to my eye doctor, who said don't expect to get your eyesight back for the surgery, and blowing his mind with how good my vision was. Yeah, I'm actually really grateful that the tumor revealed itself by pressing on my optic nerve, so that I had a sense of it being there, because otherwise I had no idea. I had no idea, and I might not have ever had an idea until it was too late, if it hadn't been for the fact that it was taking away something that is very important to me for what I like to do. You know what I mean? Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. Let's get rid of the rose here. Give me some more time. Oh, it's great. It's really great being able to see. It was such an immediate change. It was pretty awesome. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna be fixing a couple of things here, so bear with me. It was kind of cool though, because of the fact that I can, do this digital work and stuff. I basically I was able to show my doctors exactly what I was seeing by taking a panoramic photo of my living room, and then changing it, like altering it so that they could see what I was seeing, and it kind of helped them determine what was going on in my eyes, which was kind of cool. Trying to figure out. I screwed this up, and now it's not quite working for me. But yeah, instead of repainting all that, I'm just making it smaller, and then I'm going to add the tread stuff in if I can figure out how to do it. Because I want to make it work. And I mean, the background of this piece isn't what's important totally. So, but it is important. Oops. I do want to make it look right. What is happening here? Why am I? Oh, that's why. Running out of layers. Speaking of layer management. Okay, let's flatten that, duplicate this and save that. Now let's see if I can skew them in a way that makes it look like that works. was my job in the Air Force? I was an imagery analyst in an intelligence squadron, the 30th Intelligence Squadron at Langley Air Force Base. I analyzed imagery from U2 and Predator platforms. I actually really liked that job. After I took my tests at MEPS for job placement, and when I saw that on the list of potential jobs, I said, okay, well, I want that job. It sounds fun and cool because it's intelligence work and not something stupid. And if I don't get it in writing that I can have that job, I'm not signing any enlistment papers. And they're like, huh, okay. And one of the pieces of advice I always gave people who asked about joining the military is, it can be a great career, really can be. Just make sure that you choose your job before you get the basic training and get it in writing. Otherwise, you will be screwed. They will screw you into a terrible job. And not because they're mean or anything else. It's just that they can do that. And some terrible jobs need to be filled. And so, what's that sound? I think somebody's outside shoveling and I'm hearing it. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, and also, yes, being an artist, I gravitated toward a field where something visual was involved. It did help. I wasn't the greatest analyst. There were other jobs associated with it once I, was promoted beyond airman that I was actually really good at. But yes, Predators. The unmanned aerial vehicle, the Predator, worked with that. Didn't work with that at first. At first it was just the U2, but the Pred came into being right after I got into the Air Force, maybe a year or so, and it really changed things. I worked a few Global Hawk missions too, but only a few. It really wasn't being done by the Air Force at the time, and then, or the time I was in, I should say. It was afterwards. But if I had chosen to go into the civilian sector side of things after my enlistment was done, even after, well, I was in for 6, but even if I'd only gone in for 4, oops, let's try it again. The civilian sector for my career field, because it's so small and and because of what it does, I could have made a lot of money. Why do I keep doing this? On the civilian side, but I'm stupid, and I said, no, I want to make comics. I want to follow my dream. Because I'm stupid. That's okay. Do not regret it. Doing the comic thing was actually part of my plan going into the military. I went in because I wasn't really going anywhere, and I felt like I was way too comfortable, you know, just sort of in what I was doing. I was making money in the job I was in, and it kept me too comfortable, and wasn't spending time working on my art and stuff, and I was going nowhere. And that was one of the reasons why I joined, because I didn't want to be in the same place forever. So I gave myself 6 years to get my act going on the other side of things while I had a steady job, and a job that I knew that I didn't want to keep. And it worked out okay. I mean, in terms of like my plan anyway. My first published comic came out a couple years after I got out of the Air Force. But I'm still broke. Yeah, a lot of the originals were in the military. I just posted yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was Veterans Day. I posted about Jack Kirby. You know, both Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were in the Army during World War II. And most of those original guys, those older guys, served. You don't find much of that these days. Oops. Let's not do that. Let's do things right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Wendy. I really appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime. Sully, stop it. Sorry, my dog's gonna flip this upside down for a minute. Hope it's not too disconcerting. Oops, forgot the ones on the side. Looks like I gotta... It's okay, I can do that in a minute. I feel like I'm back doing backgrounds for How It Should Have Ended. Solving issues like this for How It Should Have Ended. It's a constant struggle because I'm not a traditionally trained painter, so I'm always sort of flailing around. Alright, let me copy one of these. Again, sorry for flipping these things. Whoops, flipping this around so much. Giving you guys vertigo. Luckily, this is all behind these guys, so I can fudge it a little bit. Again, you know, for a background like this, the details aren't going to really matter. I'm going to actually make it a little more subdued anyway, so it's not going to like you're going to be able to see too much when it's all said and done. But I want to get, you know, enough in there that it makes sense. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's I was lucky enough to be given the job to paint those villain pub backgrounds. I think because Daniel just didn't want to do it. I shouldn't speak for him. Oh, you know, he was also pretty busy with like planning this San Diego Comic-Con thing, so I think that's one reason why he gave it to me. But yep, I'll always be a part of HISHE, even some of the new stuff, because of that. And that's cool. All right. Now that I got that fixed. I will say this: the solution I found to live streaming my iPad screen, my iPad screen, it's much simpler than what I used to be doing, and it works better too. What's frustrating is the solution to it was sort of already on my iPad for streaming, so it's like it was there the entire time I was having problems figuring out how. And I think those are some of the most frustrating things to deal with, because it's like it's like, you know, Dorothy with the ruby slippers. The solution was there the entire time, and I didn't know it was there. that it would have been nice to have known. But now I know. Okay. Let's try this again. Here we go. It's way too dark right now, so I think I'm going to start adding in, whoops, adding in a little bit of subdued nature. colors. Let's see. I think my wife's trying to use the Apple TV, and my iPad responded. It's so funny. Okay, I think I'm gonna throw just a little red into the sand crawler. Just a little bit of red, a little rusty color. It's better. It's a little better. Just to distinguish it from the ground a little bit more. It's a little too brownish yellow. Just give it a hint of redness. There we go. Okay. Ow. Now I think I might actually go in a little bit later. Oh, here she is again, typing on my iPad. I want to go back to and look at A New Hope. Wasn't there like steam or smoke or something kind of in the right behind the droids when they were being sold at the Beru homestead? Like there was like steam or something coming from the treads. I'm having a vague memory of that, and I might look into that. I'm getting here to the point when it's time for me to step back and sort of look at the piece with fresh eyes a little bit later. You know what I mean? I've said that many times, I know, in my stream, but there comes a point when you got to step away from something. And we're almost to that point. I'm doing this from memory. I gotta look up the moisture evaporators, but I'm just trying to get it down. Oops. Oh, running out of layers. Just give it a hint of Star Wars. Not that it needs more of a hint of Star Wars, but every little bit helps. Now, one thing that I didn't add yet to the Sandcrawler, and this piece is pretty much, you know, done. I don't need to keep adding details to the Sandcrawler, which is, you know, it's a background. And to sort of explain, well, I do need to add a couple details here in the middle, but like one of the things that I was thinking with regard to how and why I place the tread where it is, you can kind of see that the actual tread sort of frames the robots a little bit. That's true, there's hints of a lot of stuff in here. but it frames the robots and creates a nice little frame for them. And it also helps lead the eye. If you can see the treads here, this sort of 7 shape on the edge of these treads, it helps lead the eye right down through the Doctor and the Jawa, and then to where she's pointing. So that's sort of, one of the things that I had to consider. I did the background after drawing the foreground stuff, because when I do pieces with characters, I always make sure the characters are composed right before the background, because you got to get the foreground right first. The background can help enhance it, like I think that this background did in terms of framing the robots and leading the eye. But if you don't have the foreground elements right to begin with, you're a little screwed. Reduce this just a little bit, but I think I'm getting there. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Nolan. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. It's cool of you to stop by. Appreciate that. There's more detail work I want to do on the robots. I have some things I need to touch up now that the background is in there. But I like this piece a lot more than I did before the background was there. So that's good. I was actually kind of worried about it when it was backgroundless. It hurt me to look at it, but I think it's getting there. I think it's starting to look the way I want it to look. I know you're probably thinking, well, what else is there? Well, there's a couple things. That said, I think I'm going to end the show here, step away, and then I'll do my finishing touches. And Robert, your piece will be finished. I will then ship you the inked piece, and I will provide you a link to the high-res file so you can print it out if you choose to. If not, you can just have it as like a background or whatever. But this is pretty much what it's going to look like with a few more details added. Thank you, Robert. I really, really appreciate it. It was very kind of you to work with me on this piece. Let me get it to a point idea-wise where I felt good doing it, so I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you like the finished product. I will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's Instagram or YouTube, but I'll post a link on my Twitter and Instagram, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.